if you study the history of this field, you will encounter one of the giants, one of the greats, and his name is David Ogilvy. Now, Ogilvy is often called the father of advertising, but what he truly mastered when I studied was that he mastered the architecture of authority. Now, he had a famous foundational rule. He said, "The consumer is not a moron. She is your wife." And then I paraphrased it as, "The customer is not a moron. The customer is your wife." Right? Now, that is the language from his time. But the principle is actually timeless, right? And it is the bedrock of our entire doctrine. It is the bedrock of the entire Mohgix doctrine, right? And what he meant was that you should, or you ought to, respect your audience. Respect your audience. Now, do not insult their intelligence with catchy slogans, with jingles or fluff. Inform them. Give them facts. Give them proof. Your customer is intelligent. Your client is intelligent. Your target audience is intelligent. So do not insult them. Do not insult them. And his famous ads, now I'm speaking about David Ogilvy, his famous ads, they were actually long copy, right? Because they were filled with details. And the Rolls Royce ad famously had 600 words of facts. 607 words of facts, because he proved with overwhelming intelligent proof, right? And why that ad became the best ad in history is because he did his homework. He gathered intelligence and he filled it with details, and he built conviction. He built conviction because he wrote intelligently. And whoever read the ad at that time, and even now, knew that he was not just correct, but he was right, and he built conviction to make people or to make the consumer, or to make the customer, or to make the reader buy or see that product as a necessity. So let us apply these to our world, which is the game of sticks, right? Our audience, the council, is the most intelligent, discerning audience in the planet. I need you to understand this. You, as a cinematic strategist, your audience is the council. I mean, you get to decide if you want to be a cinematic strategist and play in the game of skill or the game of stakes. However, if you choose and you decide to be a cinematic strategist and play in the game of stakes, your audience is the council, and they are the most intelligent and the most discerning audience on the planet. So you cannot sell them with dirty gimmicks, with fluff. You cannot trick them. You cannot. Okay? Ogilvy's doctrine is more true today, and even at this level, than it ever was. Because to win the council's trust, you must actually respect their intelligence. You must replace marketing with proof. You must replace storytelling with facts. These people need facts. They need proof. How does your story relate or correlate with the fact that is in the market or the fact that has happened in history, right? And our doctrine of cinematic strategy, which is actually built on anchoring narrative in irrefutable proof, is the direct strategic successor to Ogilvy's core law. So, David Ogilvy actually taught us that authority is not claimed, it is architected. Authority is built brick by brick with the truth. Yes, with the truth. Truth is what matters in the game of stakes. That is how you win trust. But for you to build authority, you need to write intelligently. You need to speak intelligently. You need to gather facts, gather proof, gather details, because your customer is not a moron. Your customer is your wife.